From wherever you are in the world, welcome to your Melbourne Commencement Ceremony 2021. I'm Georgie Coughlin and I'm delighted to be your host again for the Faculty of Arts. Your Commencement Ceremony celebrates the start of your tertiary career here at the University of Melbourne. And we want to welcome you with an event that acknowledges your success and the academic experiences and opportunities that lie ahead. You'll hear from the Vice-Chancellor, Professor Duncan Maskell, and you'll also hear from your Dean, Professor Russell Goulburn, and you'll meet someone who's been in your shoes, one of our amazing alumni. We'll talk about student support services available to you, as well as meeting some of the fabulous peer mentors. All of this while you're hopefully relaxing at home. In Australia, a Welcome to Country is performed by an Indigenous elder to recognise the original owners and custodians of the land on which the event is taking place. We are fortunate to have with us Auntie Di Kerr, a Wurundjeri elder, and the Jiri Jiri dancers.
Wurundjeri, Wurundjeri, Naramo. Wurundjeri, Wurundjeri, Naramo. Bambocho maninga, Bambocho maninga. Wanganino, tula padro. Wanganino, tula padro. Ngakaje, 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 ngakaje. Wanganino, tula padro. Wanganino, tula padro. Ngakaje, 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 ngakaje. Wingmaleo, Coreno, Galen Mariamo, Mamelamo, Woman Jeka, Woman Jeka.
I honour my ancestors and my elders, and I pay homage to the sacred ground I'm on and all the sacred grounds that you're on. I wish to acknowledge any elders of different nations, any First Nations peoples from across the waters, all Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples, and I acknowledge you all. And I pay my respects to your ancestors, elders and families. It's an honour and a privilege to welcome you here today and to also have my daughter Melissa with me for a smoking ceremony. And what a journey you're going to have. This is the first year of your journey in university. Myself personally, as a Wurundjeri elder, I have a long journey with Melbourne University, and it's important that you enjoy your journey while you're here. You need to look after each other while you're at university, because your well-being is the most important thing. I firmly believe if we can understand each other, that we can eradicate racism and stigma, and when we do that, we live in peace. And I think that's the most important thing in our lives. Put a leaf on the fire, and that is on your behalf. The reason I do that is because I'm asking you to follow the laws of the land. The laws of the land are not to harm the land or the waters, and not to harm any of Bunjil's children. Bunjil is our creator. So it's more than just looking after country, it's about respecting each other, respecting the Wurundjeri people and taking care of each other. On behalf of the Wurundjeri people, we welcome you. We ask you, if you're in any cultural troubles, to contact us, and we will support you during your studies and during your journey. So can I say, may Bunjil, our creator, surround you and give you strength and resilience. And on behalf of my elders, I say Womanjika, Wurundjeri Balak Yemen Gundibik. That means welcome to the traditional country of the Wurundjeri people. For those at the moment that aren't on Wurundjeri country, I can't welcome you to the country that you're on, but I can acknowledge the country you're on and hope that where you are, the community gives you the strength and resilience and helps you and supports you in your journey. So Nungojin, that means thank you. Nungojin for allowing me to come in today and do a welcome. Nungojin.
Thank you, Auntie Di. We appreciate your wise and kind words of welcome. And now for the formal address, the Vice-Chancellor of the University of Melbourne, Professor Duncan Maskell.
Waminjeka, welcome. It's my great pleasure to speak to you today as together we mark the beginning of your journey here at the University of Melbourne. First, I would like to acknowledge the traditional custodians of the lands on which the University of Melbourne stands. The Wurundjeri people, the Boon Wurrung people, the Dja Dja Wurrung people and the Yorta Yorta peoples. I acknowledge the Indigenous elders of this land, past, present and emerging. Today, I officially welcome you as commencing students to the University of Melbourne community. There's a song by John Lennon of the Beatles, my generation, not yours, that plays on the words, strange days. Nobody told me there'd be days like these, strange days indeed. For nearly all of us, the times we've lived through since the start of the COVID-19 pandemic have been very strange. Not at all what any of us were expecting just 12 or 18 months ago. The pandemic has affected the labour force. It's affected whole nations. It has certainly affected education in schools and universities. But here is an important fact from which I hope every one of you commencing at the University of Melbourne in 2021 will take great encouragement and confidence for your future. Great education has not changed. The quality of great education in a world-leading university like Melbourne has not fallen away. And the vital impact created by education and by the people leading the educational and research efforts of the university, many of whom will be your teachers, is even greater than it's ever been. So what you are doing by signing on for your education at the University of Melbourne this year is a fantastic move for you and for the world. Well done for joining us, and I'm so glad you're here. Today, the university makes certain promises to you, and when you return for graduation here in a few years' time, I hope that these will have been delivered. These are our promises: that you will have learned in a respectful environment, that you will have made new friends and formed new relationships with a diverse range of people, that you will have come to an appreciation of how fortunate we are as members of a privileged university community in this country, and that you will have become determined to make your own positive contribution to make the world a better place. For me, today is also a day for congratulating you on what you've achieved so far and for celebrating what's in front of you as you become part of one of the world's most respected educational institutions. I also want to share my disappointment that not all of our commencing students can be present in person on campus. To those who are studying with us online and from overseas, please receive my sincere good wishes, and I very much hope to be welcoming you onto campus in person as soon as that is possible. We are an international university, welcoming students from more than 130 different countries. And of course, we are as delighted to welcome many students from around Australia and from Victoria. As a large and diverse community, we learn to live with each other and to respect one another's views as we strive for new knowledge. Indeed, I believe that one of our great strengths is that in a university there is no single opinion or one set path. The discipline of learning is real, and we encourage and inspire each other to learn better and learn from each other. But one of the great joys of a great university education is that through all that learning, you get a life-changing chance to define your own views and your own path in life. Uniquely, what a great university education offers you is the chance to form new connections, to have existing views questioned, to be pushed to consider issues and problems in different ways. We ask you to do these things because at the University of Melbourne, diverse views and perspectives aren't just welcomed, they're encouraged. Robust and reasoned academic debate is the bedrock of how we learn. We know you have the capacity to make a great contribution through this respectful but rigorous process of challenging, listening, arguing, learning. We await and welcome your contribution within this scholarly world. Provided that we are respectful, there are no issues or problems which cannot be investigated and debated in a university. We do this as part of our search for truth, not in order to belittle you if you hold different views from others within the group. Here, you have the right to feel safe and supported, to be valued for who you are, and to have political and religious views that are different to others. You have responsibilities too, to respect difference in others and to treat everyone fairly. At Melbourne, you can know that you'll be supported and that our differences enrich and strengthen our community. We also expect everyone to adhere to our clear policies on student conduct, living up to the values of the Student Charter and knowing when no is the response, respecting the boundaries and decisions of others with regard to consent. Put clearly, the University of Melbourne has zero tolerance for sexual assault and sexual harassment. Your university has clear codes of conduct and we will not tolerate behaviour that does not meet our standards. We are committed to a safe, inclusive and respectful community. We don't just say it, we mean it. And you will receive this message from the university in many different ways throughout your studies. Again, I congratulate you on your achievement in being accepted to the University of Melbourne, and I thank you for the trust that you've placed in us to guide you along this path. Today marks the beginning of your lifelong membership of the university community. Give it all you've got, don't miss the chance to get involved, and rest assured, we will be doing everything we can to support you along the way. Thank you.
Thank you, Vice-Chancellor. Now let's hear from the leader of your faculty, the Dean of Arts, Professor Russell Goulburn.
Hello, I'm Professor Russell Goulburn, your Dean. I'm delighted to welcome you to the Faculty of Arts. My colleagues and I are proud to have you join us, and we hope you'll be as proud as we are to be members of this amazing faculty. You're amongst more than 5,000 students from nearly 100 countries commencing in the Faculty of Arts this year, bringing new energy, new insights, new ways of being to a faculty that is home to more than 12,000 students. We're a community of students and staff with diverse backgrounds and perspectives, great ambition and extraordinary initiative. Some of our recent graduates include Mohammed Khairat, who, while still a student here, founded Egyptian Streets, Egypt's #1 English language media outlet. Lynn Doe, the Australia and Pacific lead for Al Gore's Climate Reality Project, and John Tass Parker, the former digital communications advisor to Julia Gillard in the Office of the Prime Minister, and now the head of politics and government at Instagram. So people come from all over the place to be here, and they go places when they leave. And wherever you're at in your own journey, I know this is a big step forward that you're taking today. Rest assured that my colleagues and I are here to accompany you in the months and years ahead. You'll see us doing that through our academic advising program, one of the signature initiatives of the university's student life strategy, which involves you meeting with an academic member of staff who will be there to help and guide you. You'll also get support from more experienced students through our peer mentoring program. What all of this demonstrates is that in everything we do, we aspire to be a diverse and inclusive community. Diversity is about representation, inclusion is about involvement. So it's crucial that you get involved. You've been invited to the party, now it's time to dance. Or better still, now it's time for you to choose the music. Our theme tune, our refrain as a faculty, is that studying for a BA is all about studying what it means to be human. And there can be no more important question to address than that. What does it mean to be human? The question is asked of us by the global pandemic, by rapid developments in technology, by big tech's erosion of privacy, by the environmental disaster we're living through, and by much else besides. And in addressing that deep question, the humanities and social sciences have a core role to play because they fundamentally change not just what we think, but how we think, how we view the world, and how we view our place in it. You're embarking today on a whole new phase in your journey of discovery, increasing your awareness of others and also growing in self-awareness. For me, that journey really began when I started studying modern languages at high school in the UK and then at university as the first person in my family to go to university. I was and still am fascinated by the potential when you speak another language for making the imaginative leap into the world of others, for seeing the world from another perspective, and for realizing that your own small, limited and limiting perspective is precisely that. Moving across different languages and cultures changes what and how we think. Entering sympathetically into the mindset of a culture that is not your own enables you to understand and challenge better the mindset that characterizes your own culture. Seeing the world from another's perspective enables you to pull outside of crowd mentalities, to beware of quick judgments, to empathize. And the art of empathy is one that our world needs urgently today. And by studying for a BA, you're going to learn to expand your horizons just a little closer to the widest horizons of all, those of humanity itself. So be open to new experiences, be open to exploring new areas, learning new things, asking new questions, both of those around you and of yourself. That's the point of a university. The point of your studying here is to open yourself up to the human possibility of discovering new things about the world and about yourself. Our aim is to enable you to flourish, to become who you are, to be your true self. So as you think about which subjects to choose, think about what inspires you. As you think about what you might want to do in the future in order to earn a living, think about what makes you feel fully alive. We want our graduates to be the best they can be. The end goal is not just about how to make a living, but also about how to live, and how to live well in a fairer, more humane and more sustainable world that you have helped to build. Building that better world is the task that lies ahead of you. It's the task facing all of us. And as we get on with it, let's keep our compass on the ultimate values: honesty, integrity, compassion, and kindness. Welcome to the Faculty of Arts.
Thank you for that lovely warm welcome to the faculty, Russell. I loved hearing your story that you did a lot of your study over in the UK. Can you go back to that moment, I'm assuming 17 or 18, you've finished school, you're stepping onto university for the first time, probably a lot of pressure because you're the first person in your family to go to university. How did you feel?
No, I felt really excited that this was an extraordinary opportunity that was opening up before me. I felt really nervous as well. Going into studying a university, which is a place associated with all kinds of rites and rituals and traditions, and how do I navigate my way around that? I felt reassured early on because I soon realised that actually there were lots of other people feeling exactly the same emotions as I felt. And I can remember the first evening in my college in Oxford, where we had a welcome event, and I'm friends with the 3 or 4 people that I sat with on that row, still in touch with them, and actually we all felt those same kind of emotions, that mixture of excitement, anxiety, the nervousness, the tension, but actually just that sense that people have been there before. You can learn from others' experience and you can empathise with others as well.
What sort of student were you?
I took my studies really seriously. Again, that sense that this was a fantastic opportunity and that I was studying the subjects that I really loved as well, and studying them in a way that was quite different from the way I'd studied them at high school. So yeah, I threw myself into my studies, but I also tried to explore other opportunities that were there, and particularly again the kind of distinctive opportunities that come from being in a university. So clubs and societies, music for me, I joined a choir. Made friends by joining that choir as well.
What advice do you offer to them when they're coming into 2021? We are still realistically in the middle of a pandemic. If they are feeling overwhelmed and they're worried about the structure, am I doing online? Am I coming to campus?
What I'd say firstly is you've done fantastically well to get here, precisely because of all of those obstacles and difficulties that last year put in people's way. You should be really proud of what you've achieved and feel really pleased to have got here. At the same time, you should feel entirely comfortable about acknowledging those things that you don't know about, those things that you're unsure about. The only way you will learn is by asking questions.
Thank you so much, Russell. Such a lovely welcome for the students to your faculty. I wish you all the best for a smooth year in 2021. Let's hope so.
Thank you.
Now let's hear from some students about the Melbourne Peer Mentor Program and, importantly, how it can help you.
The mentoring program for me means that it was like a good first step into uni.
I didn't know very many people going into the University of Melbourne, so being involved in this program was definitely something that I wanted to put my hand up for. I'm definitely someone who just tries as many things as he can.
If you're a first year student, you will get assigned a group of people who will be your peer mentor group. The peer mentor will organise a few meetings, whether it's online or in person.
Across the year, you'll have multiple peer mentoring sessions on topics such as well-being in the middle of the semester. Later in the semester, there'll be some topics on exams and how to write your essays. It's a really safe space and it just provides an additional support network to what you already have.
My mentors helped me a lot when I was in first year. Like when I first came to uni, I know nobody, have no idea where to go for my classes, but those students, they really helped me.
It's like a friend chatting with you, and it's also someone that supports you own studies, which really feel great.
My mentor was really interesting. He was a science student that transferred into commerce, and so it was great for me because I sort of went into uni with all these questions and I could just bombard him with everything, and he'd be really nice and take his time and answer all of them. So for me, who was someone who was always curious, he'd always have the time for me, and I think that really helped me out.
I found out about the peer mentor program and I was really excited to be part of it because in my first year I didn't know a lot of the facilities and the services that the university provided, which once I found out made life a whole lot easier in doing academic studies and getting to know people and just engaging with the university and all the services it provided.
Now becoming a mentor, it's kind of like my way of giving back to the students, kind of helping the incoming students with whatever questions they have.
Definitely go for it. There's nothing to lose. Obviously, everyone's in the same situation when you come to uni. Everyone's nervous, everybody wants to make friends. So just go in there with the mentality of why not, nothing to lose. Only something good can come from it, really.
In my first semester in the Bachelor of Science, I chose some subjects that just weren't for me. They didn't cater to my interest in psychology, so I had a bit of a freak out, is this really what I want to do? So I went to Stop One, I had a few meetings, and they really helped me figure out my entire course plan, so I didn't have to worry about whether these subjects were giving me the credits I need. I could just really relax and enjoy everything Melbourne Uni had to offer.
It's just so great to get involved in that social atmosphere. Go, join a club that you've never heard of before, like the Cheese Club, or there was a tabletop gaming club as well, so there's so much stuff to explore. I'm just so keen to do that again.
You'll be surprised at how much people actually do want to help you. Just ask a question and they'll probably give you a whole spiel on how good it is at Melbourne Uni.
Looking forward to seeing you on the Melbourne Peer Mentor program.
Thank you to all of our fabulous peer mentors. It is such a great program. Well, our guest alumni is Julia Busuttil Nishimura. Based in Melbourne, cook, author and teacher, Julia's food celebrates simple ingredients and seasonal produce. She's a regular contributor to Australian and international publications such as The Design Files, Country Style Magazine, ABC and Good Food. Julia's first cookbook, Ostro, was shortlisted for the 2018 ABIA Illustrated Book of the Year and named in Gourmet Traveller's Best Food Books for 2017. And I am very calmly fangirling here because I am such a huge fan. Welcome, Julia.
Thank you so much.
And I know that lots of people watching, whether the students or their parents, will have, I'm sure, invested in these incredible books. So it's just a delight to have you here. Back in your old stomping ground, the University of Melbourne, can you remember what it was like when you first stepped foot on this campus?
I remember the buildings. I think that was the first impression. It kind of felt a bit like Hogwarts. It just felt really, exciting to be around lots of different people from different schools and, be in the big smoke, essentially. Yeah, it was a great feeling to be here on the first day.
Now, when you, I imagine, decide I'm going to do an arts degree, there are a couple of different ways that you have an attitude towards how it's going to pan out. Some people come and go, you know what, I know exactly what I'm going to do with this arts degree, and others, I'm not really sure where this is going to lead me. Which way did you sort of fall?
Yeah, I really didn't have a strong, sense of direction in terms of what I wanted to become or what I wanted my career to be when after I did my arts degree, but I just knew that an arts degree would hopefully, bring some clarity and I guess give me an opportunity to try out a few different things and decide what I wanted to do. So it was a good kind of foundation for my future, I thought.
Now, it's so broad when you have to choose subjects. How did that go and what did you decide on? Maybe you could take us through your first year subjects.
So my majors were Italian, so Italian language and politics or international studies. I did, you've got kind of these compulsory Italian language subjects which, are very language based, and then you could choose some extra kind of more cultural subjects which were great. Yeah, I was very interested in international, like European politics, which kind of fitted really nicely in with Italian. But I also had the opportunity to do music subjects, which was fun. So we could do these, they were called breadth subjects when I was at uni. And yeah, we got to take subjects that might not usually be offered to in a traditional arts degree, things like African drum and dance.
Oh, how fun.
Yeah, it was fun.
And what did that give you, these breadth subjects?
It was fun. You got to meet a whole new kind of group of people, and there were lots of people taking Italian as their breadth. So it was a really nice kind of cross exchange of, perspectives and ideas and, great opportunity.
What sort of student were you?
I loved learning, as corny as that sounds. It was, felt really, it's very different to high school where you have kind of someone telling you need to submit and do all these things. It's very self-directed, which I really thrived on. I lived in a share house in Carlton, so I definitely loved that university lifestyle. I loved studying and I kind of took, my grades quite seriously in a way, but it was a good balance. Yeah.
Okay, so take us through your journey, maybe sort of for the rest of the degree.
So I did the 3-year arts degree in politics and Italian, and then I kind of tacked on an extra year and did Diploma of Languages in Italian, which was just some kind of further studies in the language, which was fantastic. And then I went on to do my Master of Teaching. So I actually did my Master of Teaching in secondary teaching here at Melbourne Uni and became a English, humanities and Italian teacher. I automatically went down to primary teaching. So I taught Italian in a primary school here in Melbourne for about 4 or 5 years, kind of part-time, sometimes full-time. So in amongst that kind of second parts of the teaching, I started to write recipes and kind of grew a little bit of a following on social media. In between that, I went to Italy. So even during my studies, I did a study abroad through the university, which was fantastic.
You're now a best-selling author, phenomenally successful cookbooks, and just so beautiful, authentic. I think the passion just springs out from the pages. And how much of who you are today and the success sitting here is contributed to the person that we're starting to form here at the university?
Yeah, I think a lot. I think the friends I made here at the university, even on the first day of uni, they're some of my closest friends now. I honed my writing being here, writing all those essays, all that reading, all those late night studying. It does kind of set you up for life, essentially.
Yep. Yeah. Well, it's just such a joy to have you here and meeting you in person. So thank you for coming back. And to finish, some final words of advice for our students that are heading off into 2021.
I think just take it slowly, take it a day at a time, poco poco, as they say in Italian. Really just kind of, soak it up because it is a really special experience.
Poco poco.
Poco poco.
I love that.
Little by little.
I love that. We hope you've enjoyed your session. Personally, I've loved listening to the Dean, our students, and of course, this fantastic alumni story. Thanks for watching, and we look forward to seeing you on campus.